So, welcome everybody and Happy New Year, which feels weird to say. But yeah, this is our first get together, 2024. Wow. Who feels super positive about 2024?
Yes.
I do. Does everybody feel the same? It's so weird. I don't know what it is about this year or whether we feel this way every year, but the level of positivity that's coming through is palpable at the moment, and it's amazing. And what I'm loving the most is seeing women in the online space kicking ass. Basically, they are like nailing it. They're being really authentic. They're earning a lot of money, and I know it's not about money, but when you're in like a soul led business, you want to have that fulfillment, not just in the work that you do, but you want to be compensated well for it. So your whole lifestyle is completely enjoyable. It's not just I go to work and I get paid. Your work becomes your life and you love it and live it. Now, when you're first starting out, it's not always like that. You have to put the grind in. And I always say to anybody who wants to become a coach, you have to be in it for the long game. There's Elise. You have to be in it for the long game. Those overnight successes, number one, you wouldn't want that anyway, because I've been in this game now for 8 years. And if I'd been an overnight success 8 years ago, I'm a different person now because I've learned so much in the 8 years of being in business in the online world. I wouldn't have had all that learning, but it would have failed anyway. Do you know what I mean? Do you understand that? So you have to be in it for the long game. And one of the important things when you become a coach and you want to be successful in business is to have a really solid vision. That can be really hard because sometimes you just don't allow your mind to expand enough to get a clear vision of what you really want. Limiting beliefs can get in the way, confidence can block you from doing that. A myriad of things can block you from having a clear vision. If you can create a mission statement or a vision statement, a legacy statement even is probably more powerful. If you can create a legacy statement, it felt uncomfortable for me to do this. I didn't really want anyone to see it. I was a little bit, not ashamed, but a little bit embarrassed. I had a lot of guilt around money. I had a lot of guilt and shame around earning money. So for me, for somebody to see my legacy statement was a bit for me. But that was then, it's not now. And like I say, I'm not that person anymore, and neither will you be. When you've been doing this for years, you will grow stronger. And I'm saying it because I know some of you are new coaches and you're starting your business, and I know how it feels to be in your shoes. Rebecca, you're quite new at it. You're getting stronger now. Paula, you're getting stronger now. I can see all the stuff you're doing. Emma, you're really owning your space now, having left your corporate world. Just unmute yourselves and join in the conversation. Throw in what you want. What's been your experiences so far?
It's a slow burner, but I'm well aware you can't go from zero to earning like 100 grand in 1 year. So it's a slow burner, but year on year, I am getting more clients and I am earning more.
Good. And what do you
So
think is making the difference?
consistency, because you could just give up because you're not where you want to be. You just got to keep going and you've got to keep showing up consistently, like doing webinars, even if only 2 people turn up on them out of the 14, which has just happened to me today. But doing it as if the 14 are on the webinar.
Yeah.
And just carrying on, being consistent, and then one day I know it's all gonna like come in.
Because showing up and doing it, even if there's one person or 2 people there or 14, what is that doing to you? How is that, what, attributes is that giving you to show up and to keep doing it regardless?
Trust, I reckon, from my clients. Trust that I'll show up, whether I've got however amount on my webinars.
What does it take in you to do that?
Resilience.
Yeah,
Which is
exactly.
what my webinar was just on.
Beautiful. Yeah,
Resilience, that no matter what, you bounce back. So
absolutely. Resilience is like, it's that bounce back factor. It's the days when you think it's all gone to shit. How many days I've had like that? Fingers and toes. I'd need all your fingers and toes. It's the resilience, it's the bounce back, but you have to have a vision
yeah.
and a connection to that vision to be able to think, why is it worth it? Anybody else got anything to say about that?
I think it's important to build the foundations as well at the beginning. Have everything in place that you need. You can't just jump into having like so many coaching clients a week if you haven't built the foundations first.
What are you finding is working for you, Paula?
Well, obviously I had a year out, but even so, I still worked on myself and carried on learning things. I think as what Rebecca said, it's the consistency of keep showing up. And one of the first programs I did, only one person joined, but I still did it for that one person. And she said, "Look, you don't need to." I said, "No," and I learned from it. And I also think it's saying to the universe that it's valuable, even if it's just one person.
Exactly.
So I think it's that sort of thing, just to keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I
Yeah.
say believe in your vision and keep focusing on your vision and what you really want.
Yeah, it's because it's like, it's in a way, what that's saying to me is like, we all want to be of service. That's why we do this. And it's like, well, I'm not just going to be in service when there's X amount of people in the room. Do you know what I mean? You're going to be of service when there's one person in the room. There are no kind of conditions to when you show up and be of service. If that's the path that you choose, then that's the path you have to eat, live, and breathe. And showing up regardless cultivates resilience. It also confidence.
Yeah.
And trust in yourself as well. Like you kind of like integrity. I'm going to do this.
Yes. Thanks.
Anyone else?
I would say for me, my kind of driving force is, it's always been, my whole career has always been about helping people. But my old career didn't necessarily help me in any way, shape, or form. So for me, it's that like energy exchange. So I never want to go back to where I was. And I want to always just keep giving like I always have done. But also to receive something back as well. And whether that is just that one-on-one connection with a client, or knowing that what I've done to help them help themselves, or, financially as well. I come from NHS, so there is no financial compensation in NHS. So for me, it's just keep growing and learning and enjoying and trusting myself. And yeah, that's kind of where I am at the moment.
Yeah, and it's really kind of sitting with, what will I do when I feel like giving up?
Yeah, keep going, always, always, always just keep going.
And then you have to question that, why, what will make me keep on going?
Yeah, it's the love, isn't it? It's the love of your job, it's the love of your work that you do, it's for your family, it's for yourself, it's for, the message or whatever it is that you want to put out there, believing that it's important, and that, you're going to add value to someone else's life by doing what you do.
Yeah, so it's really, and that'll be, our whys will be like different, but yeah, it's just really connecting to that, because from my experience, like, it's been challenging for me. It's been up, it's been down, so many outside influences questioning what I'm doing, laughing at laughing at me. All of the things that you guys have expressed to me in the past put you off, being seen on social media and things like that. It's just human. One of the biggest things that will hold us back is shame, whether we have like the mentality of needing to be approved of by the family and by the friendship circle, you know, that fear of being kind of kicked out of it and not belonging, you know, these are kind of survival traits that we all hold. So we have to have the motivation and the desire, our motivation and desire for being a messenger of whatever you feel you want to bring forth has to be so much stronger than anything else.
Yeah,
And
well,
sorry, Emma, go on.
I was just going to say, I only joined social media a year ago, down to you.
And I see you now. Brilliant.
Yeah, down to you. I'd never been on social media in my life. Never had a Facebook account, never did anything. And it was only when I joined the Masters and Marie was like, you're going to have to. And I was like, oh my God. And I just locked myself. It was just me in there. And now I post religiously. But I do it because it's just what I feel like I need to say at that time, and it's just a download that I've got, and I don't really look at who liked it, how many people have liked it, or how many views I've had. It's just I just put it out. I don't really look at other people's accounts really. I just put out what I think might be helpful for somebody or might make someone smile, or and that's kind of my motivation for doing it. But I religiously post just to spread a bit of joy or a bit of happiness or whatever in the world, and that's what I get from it anyway.
That's really good. And consistency, like they do say consistency is key, because people will build up like the trust in you, you know, they know you're going to be there, and you don't give the impression you're here 1 minute and then you've gone the next. So in that sense, consistency is really, really key. Does anybody else have like a fear of social media, or how do you perceive you will run your business? Because not everybody has to go on social media. I always say start with, I mean, social media wasn't even really a thing. It kind of was getting there when I was starting coaching. Yeah, it was definitely there, but it wasn't, you know, that big a thing. So I had to basically, you know, I can't even remember how I did it now, but talk about it, you know, get people in the room with me. You know, online stuff wasn't there. So I had to get people in the room with me. And that was like referrals. Someone brought their partner along, you know, it was doing it like that. So networking is, I hate networking, but networking is a good way for people who like that, because your energy's in the room with all the people on the networking circuit. And if they like you, they're going to support you. So anybody got anything to say about social media or how they see their business unfolding for them?
I would like to say something about social media, Anne-Marie. I do use social media quite a lot. And at the beginning, whenever I was trying to promote something like a masterclass, I used to think, oh God, what's everyone going to be thinking? You know, oh, they'd be like, oh, here she is again. Think she is, and all that kind of stuff. But over time, I've realised that what I'm promoting's got value. So I feel completely different about it now. And sometimes I get like, if people don't take the things up, because I think they just don't realise how much it could help them. You know,
Well,
but I
that's a
just
good
keep
point.
doing it because, pardon?
That's a really good point
Yeah.
about value and how to make people, well, how to bring to somebody's awareness the value that's in your offering.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really pleased to hear you say, I'm valuable and what I've got to offer is of value. I mean, that in itself is just amazing. It's the treasure trove. You know, if we don't feel confident in what we have to deliver and what we have to sell, basically, then it's not going to work. So that on your side is like the dime bar, you know, the
Yeah.
dime that used to get, you know, in the arcade games. Anyway, and that was just the picture that came to my head. But how do we let people know if it's valuable or not? What's worked for you guys so far?
I find going live in my Facebook group helps, because I don't prepare like a big load of things. I just do notes and I really speak from my heart, and I think people can tell that I'm passionate about it. And not linked to social media, I started to do Reiki fairs, like spiritual fairs, because I do Reiki, and that's drawn a lot of people into my world who've moved up the train sort of
Right.
thing, or the funnel, just because
That's
they've
so
met me.
good.
Yeah, and they've been drawn to my energy, the right people, or, you know, your ideal clients.
I love that. So there you go. There's your have you ever run a business before, Paula?
No.
There you go. So you're living proof. Anybody can do it. You just got to
Yeah.
be in the mindset of it.
Mm.
Going out, finding your clients, or your ideal clients, being in the room with your ideal clients. Just let them get to know you. That's first thing. Let them get to know me. Let them see if they like me. Let them see if they trust me, and then they will turn into a client. So that's amazing. So the first step is you've gone out, you've done your thing, which was Reiki.
Yeah.
You've connected with people. That's the number one thing, is connect with people. How can you sell anything to anybody if they don't know you exist?
Mm.
And then you've built up a connection with them. You've built up a relationship with them. And that's the way to do it.
Yeah, just getting because as you said, you've got to be seen, you know, and that can be the difficult part sometimes, I think, with social media being so swamped. You've got to really be seen, and I think be seen as authentic, that people can really see that you mean what you say and that you're coming from your heart. The right people will see you.
Yeah, 100%. Anybody got anything else to say about how they see their business unfolding, or any concerns around it, really?
I think I used to show up a lot last year doing lives, and I overstretched myself. I was also doing a weekly YouTube video, like reading the cards for the week. And I basically overwhelmed myself, then got to April last year and stopped doing everything. Stopped. I was working with too many clients for free as well to get experience. So I stopped everything that I was doing for free. And now I'm feeling like I want to be more visible again, but I need to make sure that I'm not going to do too much. So I'm going to just do a monthly thing.
Yeah.
And with me, what I do, because I like to be logical and organized, I'm like, right, every Monday I'll do a YouTube video. Every Thursday I'll do my live. And that's where I fall down. So I'm going to try and do it more like, I won't say when I'm doing it. I'll do it when I feel good and feel like doing it.
Yeah.
But I think it's very easy when you're starting out, because you want to be successful, to just overload and overwhelm yourself, which is what I did last year.
No, because I helped you get a speaking gig, didn't I, last year at some point. And on the back of that, on the back of you like showing up and doing that, you've now got what's happening from that?
They've asked me to do 2 more, which is the first one's next Wednesday. But this time, like last time, there was 9 people in that audience. This time there's 40 registered, but they're expecting 70.
Wow.
So I'm now crapping my pants. And I've got another one in March. So, but the amazing thing about this, and this is a universe, I have been writing an online course since November called Soulful Resilience. And the woman wants me to talk about resilience to the audience.
Amazing.
So at the end, I'm actually doing it in the middle, talk about if anybody wants to take this further. My online course is going live in March.
Yeah.
So, that's brilliant. So yeah, thank you for putting me forward for the presentation last year.
Oh, well done you. You know, on the back of that, now you've got an amazing contact who are sending potentially 70 people your way.
Yeah.
And that won't just be a one-off, you know, I'm sure that'll become a regular thing, because you don't know who's sitting in the audience. We didn't know in that audience, that small audience, who was going to be able to give you a gig like this, did we?
No, so it's great. And I'm going to ask her actually because they're in ICB. I can't remember what that stands for. But there are multiple ICBs across the country. So I'm going to
she's NHS.
Ask
They're
her if
NHS.
she's got any other contacts of ICBs elsewhere in the country. And I could contact them and say, are you doing these events? And if so, can I put myself forward as a speaker?
Yeah.
And I've worked with a presentation coach on this one to get my presentation really good. So I'm actually excited about delivering it next week.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well done. That's
Yeah.
amazing. See, so hopefully this is inspiring people to think like it doesn't just happen overnight. Just because you're a coach, or, you know, like people aren't going to be battering down your door to work with you. You have to go out, you have to show up, you have to tell people what's unique about your offering. You have to have, first of all, have your vision in place, understand your own motivation for doing it. How are you going to cultivate resilience when the chips are down? How are you going to bounce back and keep on going? Is your message clear enough to you? Is your vision clear enough? Strength of conviction clear enough? How are you going to go out and get your clients? What suits you right now? You know, I was quite comfortable, and I still am, sat behind a phone doing a video to no one. Do you know what I mean? That is my comfort zone. I'm out of my comfort zone when I'm public speaking. I don't like it. Maybe I haven't got a strong enough why behind it to go out and do speaking, but I'm much more comfortable doing it online. So that's where I will show up. I won't show up if you put me in a situation where it's just too uncomfortable for me and I'm not ready for it. So think about what works for you. How are you going to do it? How are you going to take that first step and start promoting yourself? Whether it's just having a nice, gentle conversation with someone saying, hey, this is what I do. This is how I help people. This is how I work with people. What you need to remember is when somebody is listening to what you're saying, they're listening to the solution that you're going to solve for them. So it's not just good just saying, I'm a life coach, or I'm a mindset coach, or I'm a health coach. It's like, okay, if I have a problem, I need to hear that you can solve the problem. I'm not going to just verbally tell you what my problem is, but I want to hear in your kind of like explanation about who you are and what you do, what solution, what problem you solve. So think about your USP. Is that right? Yeah, unique selling, whatever. Think about that and think about what is it that makes, what problem do you solve for people? I knew the type of clients I wanted to work with. They were people who, you know, were similar paths to me. Childhood trauma, childhood adversities, had potential but didn't quite know how to reach it. So they were my clients. I wanted to get into the limiting beliefs. I wanted to get into somebody's brain, help them see that they're stronger than they think. So if somebody came to me and wanted to stop smoking or find a job, a career coach, they were not my clients. So I had to turn them away because I wouldn't show up as my best self. Like I would be doing a disservice to them by agreeing to work with them. So at this stage, do you know who your ideal client looks like? What problem they have?
But I feel as if I'm answering the questions all the time, sorry.
Go for it. It's your platform.
Yeah, I think mine are similar to you, and I sort of describe it as they feel weighed down by life because of the behaviours that because of what's happened to them in the past. They might be codependent, people please, and taking on lots of responsibility, and they would describe it as feeling weighed down. And I help them to find that inner sparkle and live a life that they love.
Yeah, great. Yeah. So maybe you could even get more clear on that. Is like, I help what type of people, you know, try and really niche it down.
Yeah, it's women I will help.
Yeah, and it could be, you know, what type of women, maybe what age, you know, try and get even more niche, because the more niche you can become, the more it's going to land with the right person.
Yeah.
So just think about that, you know, how can I get even more clear about if you're in a room and you know, right, I need to connect with that client, it needs to be really precise.
Yeah. Mm.
Anybody else?
Mine's not precise, but I'll attempt it. So you probably noticed I'm called the self coach. So I help people to uncover their authentic selves because they've lost their authentic self through life's challenges. So my type of person is the person that where I was 3 years ago, which was leaving my corporate career and dealing with a few tragedies that happened within a short space of time. And then on top of that, the global pandemic happened. So I had a kind of a dark night of the soul, handed my notice in for my career. And then I remember doing a Facebook post where I was sat in the garden going, I have no idea who I am now because my career defined me. I was this successful corporate one. So then I went through a journey of healing and discovering who I am, which is who I am sat before you today, this coach. So that's why it's not precise yet, but that is the type of client that I'm attracting, somebody who was where I was 3 years ago.
And just describe that again. So you were...
I just handed my notice in on my corporate career.
How did you feel?
Absolutely terrified because my husband had just had a brain bleed and he'd left his job, so I was the main breadwinner. But it was Cancer new moon, June 10th, 2021. And on that day, there was nothing else I could do but hand my notice in because I was so unhappy in that job. So I did it, and then I was like, shit.
So is your ideal client people who have left corporate or people still in corporate?
I would say that doesn't define my ideal client at all. I've got a lot of clients who have never been in corporate.
So who do you find then it's coming to you then? What, if you could describe them?
I think they're a bit lost in life and they've had that many challenges hit them. And I love particularly working with people who've got abandonment and rejection wounds because I was abandoned from a religion at age 19 for getting pregnant. And people who are fearful of the challenges that are going to come their way in the future because they are, and how they're going to deal with them. So that's where the resilience side comes in as well.
So what are they looking for as a solution, do you think?
To heal wounds, to build resilience, to uncover who they are authentically and then align their life with that. And to be able to cope with life's challenges.
So yeah, it's very much about resilience, and isn't it, being able to kind of find your true self and bounce back from challenges, yeah, and in the midst of that, reclaim your identity. Yeah, so it's funny, isn't it, because you're describing like the corporate and like kind of labeling it a little bit like that might be an avatar that people would fall into for you, but it's not, is it? It's just it's the everyman from, and it can be corporate and the everyman, but it's the feeling that they have, like the lack of identity or the identity crisis, and the feeling they just can't bounce back, the strengths.
Yeah It's kind of like quite a big pot.
It is.
And I know that you shouldn't be scared of limiting who your ideal client is, but I have got a range of clients.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, I had a range of clients, you know, back in my early coaching days, such a big mix of different clients, but they all had a similar problem.
Yeah. They're all of my clients are struggling with issues, challenges, problems, big ones. There's nobody that comes to me who just wants to, like you said, lose weight or stop smoking. They've got massive issues.
Yeah. And just think about what, you don't have to name them here, but just think about, is there a theme that runs through that? And then, you know, for me, it was childhood. It was something that had happened in their childhood was affecting them now.
Yeah.
I had a football manager, fear of speaking. Something had happened in his childhood. I had a professor that wanted to achieve the next level. Something has happened in his childhood where he'd been shut down. You know, it all came back to root cause childhood adversity, challenges, trauma, whatever you want to call it. So that was a theme. They all looked completely different, had different careers, different titles, different levels, but it all stemmed back from the same place.
I think the theme with mine is that they all want to leave the job they're in to do what they really want to do.
Yeah, because that's exactly what you said you were at 3 years ago. Yeah.
But they're not all
That's what I was trying
corporate. Like one's a carer, one works in a brewery. They're not all corporate. So yeah, that's really interesting. That's the theme, isn't it?
Yeah.
They want to leave the jobs to
That's
do
where
what they
you were. They're not all going to turn up as Rebecca's, you know. Do you know what I mean? They're going to be Peter, Sam, Jane, but the theme will be the same. It's interesting, isn't it? Because that's exactly where you were.
Yeah.
So that's how you can just
About
play
all of them.
around with
They
your
all,
messaging.
yeah. Brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Sarah, what about you? Let's hear from you.
No clients whatsoever at the moment because I'm still thinking about what I'm hoping to do, but it resonates with me what you're saying about it's going to be people that you can really get a feel for how they're feeling because you've been there yourself. So for me, I feel like I really want to help people that are stuck, that have completely lost themselves by looking after other people all their lives, whether that be in long-term marriages or, you know, mums, they've lost themselves, they don't know who they are anymore. Just to claim their identities and step into their power again, and just to do, you know, they have got a life, they've got a say in what they want to do, and just be able to step out and do what they want to do. It's their life, and you know, it goes way too fast. And just to let people know that they can do and be whatever they want to be.
Yeah.
And they're not stuck. You know, most of us are stuck in our own mental prisons, and I just think I'd like to be able to help people become unstuck from out of their own, I think.
Yeah, because ultimately for you, from your story and your vision of that, what is on the other side of becoming unstuck for them? What type of what feeling will they get?
So I think I'm still going through the journey myself. So for me, it's just realizing that you haven't got to live your life for everyone else all the time, and you know, there's no guilt to be felt in wanting to do things for yourself, and to achieve what you want to be. I mean, whether that's just finding a new hobby that you've never had before, or you know, doing something that you perhaps used to enjoy doing as a kid but you've just had no time, or you've not even remembered that you enjoyed doing that when you was a child, but it's something that really makes your heart sing. So I don't know, I just want to give people a feeling of, if you feel trapped and stuck in a situation, you literally, it's in your head, because you have got the power to change your life. And feel happy, you know, not feel stuck and trapped in something.
Yeah, I love that, and I hear that. I hear it. When you were saying, I was thinking there's something about like being trapped, and then on the other side of that, the opposite side of that is freedom, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Freedom. Yeah. And you know, it's such a big thing that people want is freedom.
Yeah.
It's so big. Freedom is so big. And the thing is, your niche down, I mean, you know, I can talk about freedom from a different perspective. We all can. But from your niche perspective, you will talk about it because of, you know, experiences that you've had, lived experiences. That's how we find our niche and our USP. Yeah. So, you know, even though you're just going through the journey, like I say to everybody who joins, you're already in business now. Do you know what I mean? This is it now. So don't wait until you've got the certificate in your hands. Start it from day one. As soon as you invest in yourself through taking the plunge, I'm investing in me in this coaching course. And by the way, to anybody listening, if you do not consider yourself as the biggest investment you can make, then your thinking is completely off. We are our biggest investments. We're our biggest assets. We invest in it. Jeez. So give yourself the gift of doing something for yourself that can change your life and change other people's lives. So you will come at this angle from your unique lived experience. So your freedom message is going to be really tailored to the people on the path that you've trodden. And a lot of new coaches feel that they don't have the confidence, like, who am I to say this? I'm just learning. Nobody will listen to me. I need all the qualifications and accreditation before anyone will take me seriously. And I say, yes, you know, there's a teeny bit of that is true, but the biggest part of that is true is the fact that you've worn the shoes of the person that you're going to be coaching. And that is so valuable. So nothing makes us feel more confident than actually speaking and being with people and coaching them, whether it's free, whether it's paid, whatever, it doesn't matter. The more that you can express what you do, that's where the confidence, the credibility, the authenticity, the ownership, integrity behind what you will deliver to people will be strengthened by just speaking about it. So thanks for sharing that, Sarah. Do you have any questions while you're here about the course, or want to ask any of the other students anything?
Well, I say I've got no clients. Most of my friends, you could actually look at them as clients.
Yeah.
It's some kind of advice. But I do find, like you say, just talking about your experiences to people, even if they don't have the same experiences, they have something similar or some similar problem that they can resonate with, that actually can help them in their own lives as well. So yeah, I think that's been making me more and more confident. But I mean, my question, I suppose, would be, where do you start to get your clients from in the first place, like paying clients?
Well, you've just said
it. Just from friends and recommendations.
Yeah. 100%. Like, people say, like, it's one of the biggest, like, head hooks, if you let it. Where am I going to get my clients from? It's like, start where you are. Like, literally start with what you have. Be resourceful. Look around, like, who is in my circle that I can help? Practice on. Don't even think about, like, oh, it's got to be paying clients, like, how I'm going to make money. How am I going to practice and build up the confidence to eventually make this into a sustainable business? That's just rein it down a bit, because as soon as we start thinking, how can I don't know, leave my job, like have so many clients and X amount of £1,000 a month, whatever it looks like to you, your head can get blown. And compared to where you are, it could be minuscule compared to this ideal that you have. And it just absolutely frightens the S out of people. So think about what's really going to help me just in the next couple of weeks to feel that this can become real. So it's the next step. What's the next step I can take towards that big goal? Big goal's great, park it over there, because we need the steps to get there. So what's the next small step? It could be that, right, well, I've just learned this technique, and actually I was kind of like putting it off, but let's practice it, because practice builds the confidence. Knowledge, confidence, all of that is hand in hand. So start with where you are. Now, our ex-student, I'm going to interview her soon. She's not been able to make it today. She is now running a group, And you know, she left her corporate job, she's a new mom, she invested in the course, she's completed it now, and she's now starting to coach women, and she's running a little group. And I said, would you share what's worked with you? And she said, it's friends. It's like friends and friends of friends. That's how you start. That's how I started. I'd get all my mates in the living room and I'd do like past life regression on them. That's how you start. And like, they weren't paying me for it, but they were, because they were being guinea pigs and they were helping me become more confident. So that when I did go out and get paying clients, I felt like, oh, I'm okay with this. I've done this a few times, done the guinea pigs. It doesn't always have to be about the money. It has to just be like, it's like going to the gym. You know, you'll have a figure in your mind that you want to, you know, become. Then it's like, okay, I keep pumping, I keep going, I keep doing the thing that's going to get me there eventually. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, makes complete sense.
Yeah. So Bex, you know, I'll interview her, but yeah, she's like, well, look, you know, these are like friends and family. I can't remember what she said, but friends of friends. So she's got a group now, and that's great. Because what happens then is, you know, you get your friends and your friends of friends who you've worked with to tell their friends, to introduce you to their friends, to do referrals, to do feedback, to do testimonials, to tell you what worked and what didn't work. That's how it all starts. So it's simple, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose I'm on the waiting list for just volunteering at Women's Aid, because I've come from an abusive relationship, and I find I did some courses after I ended the marriage with Women's Aid, and it was so helpful to me. And I just want to give a little bit back there, but I think that will also make me feel a little bit more confident, just talking to other women about their experiences and my own, and yeah, I think, I mean, I don't know whether I'll get, you know, any clients down the line from that, but I just thought it might help me to build up some kind of confidence to talk about, you know, people's experiences and my own.
100%, Sarah. I am all for that. I'm way behind you, that happening for you. And, you know, clients don't, like, forget the money. Like, just forget the money that will come. Like, it is a byproduct of what you're going to do. But first of all, you have to build up the confidence. So they are clients, whether they're paying or not, they're clients. You know, you're not going to treat them any differently, whether they're paying you or whether they're a case study volunteer. They are your client.
That's actually made me feel quite good, actually, because I've already got loads of clients then.
Boom. See, does that make you feel differently? This tension that we can hold about building this business up?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thank you.
Good. So Sarah, you're new to the group. So Jaspreet and Steph, you're also new. So I know some maybe not comfortable coming on camera, or if you just want to speak and say hello, or maybe it's not a good time for you, that's fine. But just so you know, Steph, Jaspreet and Sarah, and there are a few others who've not been able to make it today. You are the newest in the group. So on the Master Coach Circle Facebook group, if you just want to put a post out, feel free to post in there. And if you want a coaching buddy or an accountability buddy, then just reach out, and then I'll just get you all connected together. Okay. Great. Does anybody have any other questions before we take a little break? And then we've got a load more people coming on, and I'm going to do some live coaching demos. So if anybody has any questions or anything they want to say, if I've just rambled on and I've gone over the top and somebody's got something to say, speak now. Are we all good? Okay, let's take a 10-minute break. I'm going to go and get a cup of tea, calm my nerves. This is the biggest, oh, there's people coming in now. This is the biggest like live audience I've had. Yeah, so I'm going to go and calm my nerves, do my energy thing that I do, and I will see you back in 10 minutes.